Okay, in today's demonstration, I am going to be making what's called a collagraph, which refers to collage, but I'm making a texture plate that I'll then make prints from. So here's one that I made. Here are some of my prints. Okay, so in order to make a collagraph texture plate, you need low-level items. I happen to get from a friend. They were little mini family crests. And so I thought I would continue with that theme, but instead of using the actual dimensional crest shape, I decided to cut that shape out. So it's the, what do you call it? The negative of that shape. Then I'm going to use a glue gun to glue this fabric down. Ouch. I'm gluing directly onto canvas board because this is the same size as my Gelli plate. You could also just glue it on a piece of cardboard. That's totally fine. But since it's on the canvas, after I'm done pulling all of my prints, I can then come back and add more paint to my holograph, my textured plate. Okay. Going to use some of these sandwich ties. This sort of feels a little bit like a castle motif up in here. So these sandwich ties, they're nice flat shapes that should register and show up in my print. The fabric may be a little more subtle. So I did a little composing ahead of time. Oh, wouldn't you know? I ran out of a glue stick. Forgot to bring it with me. Somebody needs to mute themselves, please. All right, well, this is going to be about all I can glue because I forgot to bring extra glue sticks, and I'm just getting out the last little drops there. Okay. All right. So let that dry. And here's my 5x7 Gelli plate. It's got some leftover dried paint on there that will probably pull up and look interesting, hopefully. I've got my Jack Richardson printmaking paper. And then for my first print, let's see, I'm going to start with a straight Prussian blue, and then I'll pull some more prints that have different colors in it. But I'll just start with the basics. Lightly rolling out back and forth. Okay, this part's exciting. I push this down and I will get an impression of those collaged textures. Okay, so, and this will get some paint on it as well. Okay, here comes the first print. Now, ideally, I would leave this on for maybe 3 to 4 minutes to really pull up all that paint, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so here's what I got. It's pretty dark where that, I guess it's a griffin is. So now I'm going to add another color and make another impression. This is this unusual, it's called anise green. It's somewhat transparent. I'm going to mix that in with the Prussian. I think I'm going to go in the center here in hopes that that griffin might show up a little bit better. Oh, I'll just do the whole thing. Okay, and then I'll add maybe some Prussian at the bottom. And I can even be a little bit sloppy with this here. Like I'm not completely blending those colors in. I think I needed to press harder in the middle to pick up that texture. Okay. Okay, here's my second one. Still pretty subtle. Again, I can come back later and hand paint or color some of these areas in. I'm going to do one more and see what I get. And I have areas here left over that if I fanned this and got this paint to dry and then did my next coat, it would pick up that texture. So I'm doing bands of color right now. That might be fun to play with. Rid of some of that paint and then okay. So that one's called an ombre when it fades from one color to the next. So keep playing with it. Here's the 3 that I got. I can keep going. And then I have the original plate, which probably next week I'll come back and I can actually paint this texture plate, and it's its own low level kind of bas relief composition. Okay.